Don't look now, but Cleveland Cavaliers forward Isaac Okoro may finally be turning the proverbial corner. And for all you fans out there still chirping about where this man was selected in the draft, look, I get it. Isaac Okoro was selected 5th overall, so that typically does carry some kind of expectation with it, except no one quite knew what to expect out of the 2020 draft in particular. It was one of the oddest drafts we've ever seen, and we may never see anything quite like it again. This shit was held during the dreaded COVID-19 outbreak, which changed the evaluation process dramatically that draft. We're talking virtual interviews, no March Madness that would have allowed for further scouting, no consensus top pick. It was just weird. A lot of quality players were taken later on in the draft. That includes Tyrese Halliburton, Cole Anthony, Sadiq Bey, Tyrese Maxey, Emmanuel Quickley, Desmond Bane, and a slew of other players taken outside of the top 10. Many teams were left throwing darts, and that's essentially what the Cavaliers did here. There was a clear need for perimeter defense at the time after the Cavs spent their previous 2 drafts selecting smallest guards in Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, so taking Isaac Okoro made sense at the time. And as a freshman out of Auburn, he was noted as a really good defender who could handle multiple positions, had good size, strength, was a good slasher, showed a ton of explosiveness, and the semblance of a 3-point shot, although he didn't have high percentages at the collegiate level. Basically, the makings of a 3-and-D wing were there, and considering the popularity of this particular archetype of player in today's NBA, the pick made even more sense. And with all that said, while Okoro hasn't lived up to his lofty top 5 status, he does appear to be trending in the right direction after all, ladies and gentlemen. After finishing his sophomore year averaging 35% from range, which was indeed an improvement upon his rookie season, many eyes were on the Auburn product and whether or not he would experience that fabled 3rd-year leap that both Colin Sexton and Darius Garland before him seemed to make. The question was, what would that look like? It certainly wasn't going to be the same type of breakout that those two had, but it was very possible for him to start knocking down more threes on a much higher percentage, especially considering that defenses were not gravitating towards him due to the presence of Garland and the arrival of Spider. Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell has definitely changed things, folks. He had all the space he needed. He just needed to follow suit and make most of his opportunities. And guess what? He's finally started to do that. Over his last 20 appearances, he is completing 39.6% of his triples and looking damn confident doing so. Gone are the days when he would hesitate beyond reproach. The man is firing when given the chance, and I'm here for it. I am completely here for this version of Isaac Okoro, especially considering he started off the season by completing just 22% of his looks from range and appeared completely uncomfortable when put in a position to take shots from beyond the arc. Not only that, he was averaging less than 5 points per game, and his minutes were consistently fluctuating. He just looked lost offensively. I think a lot of this had to do with the fact that he was trying to find out where he fit within the confines of the offense. Well, guess what? We have an answer. Over that same 20-game stretch I referenced earlier, Okoro is averaging 7.2 points per game and has scored in double figures in 5 of his last 10. He's accomplished this by doing something that he's always been pretty good at. He's had a ton of transition baskets and made more of an effort to slash and cut, which in turn creates more spacing for the offense, with that being one of the biggest gripes fans had with him, his inability to space the floor. So now that he's doing that with a degree of consistency, what are his detractors going to complain about now? Look, I'm not saying Isaac Okoro has all of a sudden be turned into the league's premier 3-and-D wing. I'm not even saying that he is the answer to our hopes and prayers at the small forward position. I'm just saying sometimes we just need to be patient. Okoro is just days shy of turning 22 years old. So let's just enjoy the progression of one of the NBA's most hated on young players instead of tearing him down for not living up to our idea of what he's supposed to be. Not all development is linear.